Instead, it'll be 7719 because that is a sports. It's Rocky Erickson Sports. So you might want to write that down as a bit of a change. You can replace USDA with 7719. You can roll the open after this, by the way. You can roll the open after the USDA. That sound good? Okay, because we've got 9 minutes in the warm-up. Is it the Benefits Health System Game of the Week? Probably. It probably is. Okay, so he's going to need that. He's going to need that. There's that. Okay, we'll turn that up when he's... Crowd mic is up. Okay, we don't need that. That's the need for that. Okay, that's good, right there. That's not too loud, right? We'll leave that there like that. Sorry. Probably should have had that Snickers. Thank you. And welcome everyone to the McLaughlin Center on the campus of the University of Providence, the home of the Lady Argos. Yes, we are ready for Game 1 of the 2019/20 season. Yes, it's Game 1 between the University of Providence, your Lady Argos, versus the University of, well, I should say Mount Royal University. The University of Calgary just finished up with a big win over Rocky Mountain College earlier this evening by a final of 76-44. And again, another team out of Calgary, Mount Royal University, established back in 1910, will be facing the Lady Argos for the University of Providence. Yeah, it is a charter school from the Alberta provincial government, which actually was founded in 1910, but they did not actually become a junior college until 1931. And get this, just recently, back in 2017, Mount Royal University was awarded the Ashoka Changemaker Campus designation, joining 44 other universities which are leading higher education in the area of social innovation and change making. Pretty impressive, to say the least. As a matter of fact, Mount Royal University was granted university status in just 2009. So they come into the McLaughlin Center on a Friday night looking for some fun. The Lady Argos of the University of Providence, of course, they'd like to start off the season with a big win, an impressive win. They have several returners. We're going to see how they play out, but we've got a freshman on the team, which incidentally is Kennedy Cartwright, the 5'11" sophomore out of Pasco, Washington, that really is going to turn things around when it comes to the Lady Argos and the season, whether it's non-conference or conference alike. We're going to take a 60-second break. When we return, hopefully we'll be visiting with head coach Bill Himmelberg. He's the head coach of the University of Providence, the Lady Argos, as they come back out of the locker room and get ready to take on the Lady Cougars. That's right, the Cougars, who are certainly not even near close to 40 years of age, but the Lady Cougars out of the Mount Royal University are already here. We'll return in 60 seconds, so don't go away. We're back with more of the Benefis Health System Game of the Week pregame show right after this 60-second timeout. Perfect timing, 30 seconds. Okay, let's see. How's that? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, that's good.
Is that good? Okay. Let me get your level up there.
Yeah, we'll have to be quick. Sorry, I'll get over here.
That's all right. Get that close to you. That's fine. There you go. All right. Here we go. As we come back to the McLaughlin Center on the campus of the University of Providence, we are joined now in the Benefis Health System pregame show by head coach Bill Himmelberg of the Lady Argos. And first of all, Coach, thanks for joining us. Your expectations this year, do you have any in mind?
You know, we want to come out and play hard and play smart, play together, and I want to see great effort from the kids. You know, if we do those things, we're going to be happy with the outcome at the end and get to the national tournament and do all of those things.
Tell us a little bit about how much you know about Mount Royal from the past and, of course, coming into tonight's ballgame.
New coach, so we don't know hardly anything about him at all, so kind of a wide-open book to see what's going to happen tonight. We have no idea what to expect, and I don't think they have any idea from us.
Do you like doing that, playing it on a mystery-type basis?
No, we do not. So coaches like to be prepared. We'd rather be prepared, but, you know, you do what you got to do.
All right, well, thanks for spending some time with us. Best of luck. We'll see you after the game.
Thank you.
You got it. Head coach Bill Himmelberg, Lady Argos for the University of Providence, as they get ready to face Mount Royal University, the second team, by the way, that came down over the 49th parallel to find their way down I-15 into the Electric City and facing the University of Providence here on the campus of the Lady Argos at the McLaughlin Center. The other, as I mentioned before, the University of Calgary, and they had no trouble with Rocky Mountain College. Rocky Mountain College, incidentally, defeated the University of Calgary last season handedly, so a bit of a turnaround. It's like it's all of a sudden the mirror image, and a 76-44 victory went in favor of the University of Calgary. What a performance, incidentally, by Lenny Stalidzane. She's from Jelgava, Latvia. She's studying the arts, and she is a 5'8", third-year performer playing guard. And it was not just the offense, but the defense that swarmed the team out there in full court pressure that really made the difference for the University of Calgary. Now, the University of Providence, they'll be the home team, top to bottom whites with that Seattle Seahawks look. The fluorescent green as well as dark blue trim. Meanwhile, it's all blue top to bottom for the Mount Royal University Lady Cougars, as they've got a white and silver trim as we get ready for your starting lineups here this evening. Again, this is game one. Then it's a 10-day layoff. As a matter of fact, Mount Royal University invades the McLaughlin Center, but then also Salish Kootenai College will be facing the Lady Argos for a Monday afternoon. That's right, a high noon at the OK Corral, 10 days from today, and it'll be Monday, October 28th. So 10 days off after head coach Bill Himmelberg gets a look at his Lady Argos University of Providence team. We've got a really nice crowd to come out and support the Lady Argos as well as the Mount Royal University. Taking a look at your starting lineups, and first and foremost, Mount Royal University, who made the trip down. They'll start Sarah Rinsky. She's a second-year student, 5'4" guard out of Luduc, Alabama. Or I should say Luduc, Alberta. Take a look at some of the actual abbreviations, and I immediately think US of A. Madison Hooper is a second-year 5'10" guard. Madison Hooper wears number 3. She's from Perth, Australia, which is, I believe, the capital, is it not, of Australia. Abby Gillette, that's right. Abby Gillette, by the way, is a 5'10", 4-year student from Calgary, Alberta. So she's playing for her hometown as well, Mount Royal. Wears number 7. Number 8 is Ella Stanley. Ella Stanley, incidentally, is a first-year student, 6'2", from St. Albert, Alberta. And finishing off the starting lineup for the Mount Royal Cougars is Charity Marlatt. She's a 5th-year student. She redshirted in her first year, obviously. And she, incidentally, is standing at 6'1", also from Calgary, Alberta. And she wears number 14. Head coach Robin Flickenstein is assisted by Ken King as well. Now turning our attention to the Lady Argos from the University of Providence. First of all, Emily Maldonado. Emily Maldonado is a 5'5" junior from Sunnyside, Washington. Jenna Randich. Randich is a 5'7" senior from Olympia. She wears number 4. Number 23 is Kennedy Cartwright. We mentioned her earlier. A 5'11" sophomore from Pasco, Washington. She attended Chihuahua High School. Now, Parker Esray is a 6'1" junior, wears number 24. She's from Canama, Washington. And rounding out the starting 5, 6'1" from Pasco, Washington, she's a guard. She is a graduating senior, okay. Bailey Cartwright, number 32. So Bailey and Kennedy, the two Cartwrights out there getting the start. Head coach Bill Himmelberg is assisted by Crystal Smith and Darren Park. As we go center court, Lady Argos going right to left. Lady Cougars from left to right, just the opposite. In the center circle will be Stanley facing Cartwright. Ball up in the air, tip controlled by the Lady Cougars. Off and running down court, deep in the corner is Gillette. Gillette goes right down underneath the Hooper. Hooper is going to lose it out of bounds. It's tipped out. And it'll still be Lady Cougar basketball. Of course, this is where the jitters really come into play. The first few minutes of this ball game, they settle in and they realize that they've been here before. It's another season underway. Pretty soon they start to play like they're well seasoned midway through. And everybody trying to get their bearings straight, and it's stolen away by the Lady Argos as University of Providence comes up with a steal. They'll feed to Maldonado deep in the corner. She tries to go deep underneath the Cartwright. That's Bailey. Bailey with a nice spin move up underneath and in. As Cartwright scores the first two, not only of the season, but also of this ball game for the University of Providence. Cross court pass Hooper as UP tries to set up the trap on the far side. Swinging it around the horseshoe as they go right wing to Hooper, and she'll be called for traveling as she almost drained that one, 3-point range, deep in the corner. As the crowd gets loud, and of course you can tell who's been conditioned throughout the summer. There's a lot of huff and puffing going out there so far for both ball clubs. But you can tell who's played a little bit of soccer, maybe ran some cross country in the offseason to keep themselves in great condition. Lady Argos swing it to the left-hand corner. That's Randich. She drives, penetrates, pow! Randich drops it in for 2, and all of a sudden the Lady Argos lead at 4-0 at the 8:48 mark. Remember, it's 4 10-minute quarters, unlike the men's where it's 2 20 halves. Three-pointer on the way by Gillette. Gillette three-pointer, no, not there. We've got a whistle of the foul on the rebound. Loose ball foul. Let's see who they mark this one against. It's against Mount Royal. Then it'll be against Charity Marlatt. Charity picks up whistle number 1. Team foul number 1. And looks like the Mount Royal, the Lady Cougars, want to put on a full-court man-to-man press. As Maldonado takes it across the 10-second line, she feeds off to Kennedy. Cartwright, Kennedy topside. She tries to swing it left to Randich, almost a little way. Leaves Randich open for a 3 momentarily, but she'll get rid of it. Shot clock down to 12, and a whistle and a foul as she drove the lane. Bailey gives to Kennedy, who drives the lane, and I think Bailey's the one that actually is going to pick up a whistle and a foul. And that'll be team foul number 2 against Mount Royal. At the free throw line, Bailey Cartwright shooting 2. It is up, but it is not in. So Cartwright goes 0 for 1 at the free throw line, the 6'1" forward out of Pasco, Washington. Personal foul number 1 against Ella Stanley for Mount Royal as the shot's up and it rims out right side. Rebound goes to the Lady Cougars as Cartwright goes 0 for 2. Lady Argos still lead it 4-0 here early on. Pull-up jumper baseline. That time by Gillette. Gillette couldn't find the mark. Only 1 offensive rebound so far for Mount Royal. As the Lady Argos go coast to coast, it's Kennedy Cartwright. Count it, she'll be shooting for 3. .801 left to play here in the first quarter. Getting ready to check in is Janika Martins. Martins will come in for Stanley. As Abby Gillette for the Lady Cougars picked up her first whistle. That's team foul number 3. UP at the free throw line. Shots up, shots in. 3-point play the old-fashioned way. The 5'11" sophomore Kennedy Cartwright already 3 points on the board, and the Lady Argos so far put on the hurt as Mount Royal yet to score. Lady Cougars down 7-0 as they're swinging around the horseshoe to Rinsky. Rinsky, right wing now to Gillette. Feeds inside the lane to Martin. She'll break toward the hoop and she'll put it in. Charity Marlatt, or check that, Martins. Martins puts the Cougars up back within 5, 7-2. Now Maldonado will check that Randich three-pointer, bingo! Jenna Randich knocks down the first tray of the game and the season at the 7:20 mark here in the first quarter. Lady Argos lead by 8 once again, 10-2. Ball tipped out on the far side, and it'll be Mount Royal basketball right in front of the Lady Argo bench. 7:16 on the clock. Lady Argos lead it by 8, 10-2. Inbounding on the far side, Gillette. She goes topside as she goes to Marlatt. Marlatt to Gillette as they work the horseshoe. Now they go down low to Martins. Martins got the only 2. She'll kick it out to the left wing. Three-pointer, bingo! Sarah Rinsky cracks the whip and cuts it to 5. Trying to feed down low, almost. Now they'll swing it to the left wing. Lady Argos almost losing on the baseline. Now there's a quadruple team up on Bailey Cartwright, and it's stolen away by Mount Royal. So they come up with a big steal, and here come the Lady Cougars. Down court, three-pointer by Hooper. Bingo! One pass, Hooper open on the wing. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point margin. Lady Argos cling to a 2-point lead, 10-8. 6:32 on the clock. First quarter action. Randich, who just knocked down a tray to Cartwright. That's Bailey. Bailey puts up a three-pointer, off the rim, no good. But there's Kennedy Cartwright. She steps back for a three-pointer. It's off the rim. Lady Argos with another OB. That resets the shot clock as they go to Randich. She'll drive in for the easy layup. Counted. Randich has driven the lane twice and then popped it from 3 once. Already 7 points on the night. And Randich coming up with a big steal out in front court as she denies the pass. She'll give to Maldonado for a three-pointer. Bingo! What a great play, the look-off 3 after the steal and the assist. Down court, Mount Royal. Now all of a sudden down by 7 again. They take a 3-point shot, not there. Rebound, though. Lady Cougars still have it as they feed to Martin. She penetrates right in, lays it off the glass, and count it, she'll be shooting for 3. Martin's come off the bench. She's knocked down a couple of field goals. And that was after the Lady Cougars were down by 7. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Let's take the break. Up at the belt, Valley Bank scoreboard. 5:39 remaining here in the first. Well, hold everything. It's not a timeout. They just substituted half the bench. The Lady Cougars did. They brought 3 in. So hold it. We'll keep it here at 5:39 remaining in the first quarter. Shots up and in as Martins. Sorry about getting you excited there, as Brian Howard, our studio engineer, back at 102.7. We'll see if we can't keep an eye on the whistle and the such. Ball tipped out of bounds, and they're going to say it is Mount Royal basketball, as the Lady Cougars come up with a 4th steal and a turnover. 5:27 remaining here in the first quarter. UP, the Lady Argos, lead it by 4, 15-11. Into the ball game is Maitland Miller. And Maitland Miller tries to feed it inside, stolen away by Schmitz. Molly Schmitz in the ball game now for the University of Providence, the Lady Argos. Down court, ball's going to be tipped out and stolen away actually by Mount Royal. Martins comes across the 10-second line. Here come the Lady Cougars. Pump fake by Jordan Blaskin. Blaskin gives it out topside, 3-pointer by Abby Gillette. Bingo! And that's 3 threes now for the Lady Cougars from Mount Royal, and they've cut it to 1. Remember, the Lady Argos led by as much as 8 at one time, and now clean to a 1-point lead, up 15-14. In the ball game now is Kirsten Pemberton, straight out of Belt, East Great Falls. Now Schmitz on the left wing will kick it out to Pemberton. Now back to Schmitz around the horseshoe as they swing it to Cartwright. That's Kennedy. She dribbles baseline, and they're going to say a whistle to foul as she put it up on the left corner. And that'll be team foul number 4 against Mount Royal. And now we do have a timeout. All right, it's official. 4:28 left to play here in the first quarter up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard. It's the Lady Argos 15, the Lady Cougars 14. Back in 60 right after this timeout. Well, now that you've went, welcome back as we come out of the timeout here on the campus of the University of Providence at the McLaughlin Center, home of the Lady Argos, who lead by 1, 15-14 with 4:28 remaining. At the free throw line, shooting a couple is Kennedy Cartwright, again just a sophomore, standing at 5'11". As a freshman, she shot 73%. That's right, 73% from the free throw line. Wasn't the season high for the Lady Cougars, but I should say for the Lady Argos, but it was impressive. Kennedy Cartwright. Remember, she had a 3-point play, and so now she's 2 for 2 from the free throw line here this season. Her second one is not there, so she goes 2 for 3. Coming up with the rebound, Maitland Miller. Down court, here come the Lady Cougars. Maitland takes it coast to coast, and no! She doesn't have the most, tries to fight for one rebound. Mount Royal comes up with the offensive board. They'll kick it out front court to Blaskin. Blaskin, Martins in the corner, 3-pointer, no, it's a long 2. She stepped on the line. That's 7 points off the bench, as already down court, taking a long deuce that time is Kennedy Cartwright for another 2. She's got 6, and it's a 2-point margin. We were tied up there momentarily at 16 apiece. Now we've got a turnover on the feed down low. And it looks like the University of Providence will substitute. Coming out is Kennedy Cartwright into the ball game now. is Reed Hazard, 5'10" sophomore out of Portland, Oregon, as she attended Lincoln High School there. Maldonado with some pressure down court. She'll bring it down for the Lady Argos. Going head-to-head against Maria Blanco. Maria Blanco still on her as Maldonado finally gets rid of it to Schmitz. Three-pointer. Bingo! Molly Schmitz cracks it from the left side. And Lady Argos would open up a 5-point lead, up 21-16. Feed down low. Now top side to answer that is Hooper. A three-pointer. Bingo! So back-to-back trays as we wind down this first quarter. Maldonado now on dribble for the University of Providence. She'll hand off to Hazard. Reed Hazard swings it around the horseshoe. Now goes top side to Pemberton. Pemberton's three, back of the rim, not there. Rebound, here come the Lady Cougars with Blasket. She'll feed right wing, three-pointer for another one, but this tray goes awry, and the ball tipped out of bounds by Mount Royal. That three was by Madison Hooper, which would have been her third. So Schmitz will come out, Pemberton comes out, and also Hazard will come out. They'll take a Gatorade break as Maldonado gets ready to put the ball in play. Making her first appearance is Brooklyn Harn, the 5'8" freshman out of Olympia, Washington. As the University of Providence works it around the arc as they go left and right. Shot clock down to 19. That's Cartwright. That's Bailey Cartwright holding it up on the left side. Now she'll go top to Ezra. Ezra feeds it to Harn. Back to Ezra, deep down low. The reach around drew a whistle at a foul as the shot clock reached 7. It'll be a personal foul against Charity Marlett. Marlett picks up whistle number 2. Team foul number 5 against the Lady Cougars. What a quick rest for Martins, who scored 7 off the bench. And she will come in for Marlett, who had a just brief encounter on the floor again. And she'll take a rest with 2 personals. Free throw line is Ezra. And Ezra knocks down the first. She'll get one more. Lady Argos opened up a 3-point lead. Remember, they led by as much as 8 at one time. Rebound goes to the University of Providence. And they'll work it around the arc to the left wing now. Wide open is Randich, and Randich, three-pointer, bingo! Off the missed free throw by Parker Ezra, so that was a 4-point possession for the Lady Argos as they deny the pass deep down low. It'll still be Mount Royal's ball. 2:09 remaining here in the first. Lady Argos up by 6, 25-19. Now inbounding on the far side, deep in the corner. Lady Cougars will kick it out in front court. As they go top side to Stanley, she will hand off to Rinsky. Rinsky goes deep in the corner, now back to Martins. Martins penetrates in, pull up and off the glass, but it won't go. And a nice look. There's Bailey Cartwright right there with a little bit of defense as they feed down low inside to Ezra, and Ezra off the glass for them. Nice feed, nice field goal for the University of Providence. As Rinsky one-hands it, gets it right back to her. Now she goes deep in the corner, and we've got a whistle and a foul. It's a holding foul on the far side as Ella Stanley. She tried to go deep inside. So Ezra as well as Maldonado will exit back in as Schmitz, as well as Hazard. Ball in play. Martins takes the shot from the free throw line. Fight for the ball. Schmitz comes up with it in backcourt. Wants to take it all the way down court as she swing past it right side to Randich. Inside the lane to Cartwright. Tries to get rid of it before falling out of bounds. And guess what? Went right into the hands of Mount Royal. Lady Cougars come up with a steal as they feed down low to Martins. Martins kicks it out as she goes to Rinsky for a three-pointer. Rims out, no good. There's Cartwright with the DB. Lady Argos want to slow it down as head coach Bill Himmelberg stands up off the bench and says slow it down. It's under a minute left to play here in the first quarter as Randich launches a three before the shot clock expired. As we're at the 50-second mark here in the first quarter. As they try to feed it inside to Stanley. Stanley goes to Martins, whistle and a foul. She'll be at the free throw line shooting one. Martins already has a three-point play. That's 9 off the bench as she came in for Charity Marlett earlier. As now coming out of the ball game, the freshman Brooklyn Harn. Harn picks up whistle number 1. She will sit. That's only the second team foul. Make that the third upon the scoreboard for the Lady Argos. And how about that Martins? First year out of Lacrette, Alberta. And already, 10 points? 10 points off the bench. 32 seconds remains as they feed down low. They're going to kick it back out in front court to Kennedy Cartwright. She takes a three, not there. 24 on the clock. Shot clock turned off with 22.6 seconds remaining. And it'll still be Lady Argo basketball underneath their own bucket, left side of the hoop. Inbounding will be Kennedy Cartwright as she looks at Bailey. There's the slap of the ball. Looking to Schmitz. No, instead she's going to go underneath to Bailey, and a whistle and a foul on the putback. So at the free throw line, Bailey Cartwright. She is 0 for 2 so far this season, but it's a short season. It's an early start. 1 field goal. That's the first personal foul against Janika Martins for the Lady Cougars of Mount Royal. Here's the shot. Shot is up. Shot is in by Bailey Cartwright. She's out of Pasco, Washington. 21.4 remaining here in the first quarter. At the free throw line is Bailey Cartwright. Her second one is not good this time. She is 1 for 4 this evening. And the ball stolen away by Schmitz out in front court with 15 on the clock. Lady Argos have the ball as Bailey Cartwright says slowing it up. She'll give off to Hazard. Hazard for UP. Hands off to Bailey. Hop step, and she's going to take a Lady Cougar with her. We've got a whistle and a foul on the floor. And it's team foul number 6 now against Mount Royal here with 4.3 remaining in the first quarter. And it is number 1 on Madison Hooper. Whistle number 1. It's a shooting foul. It's a 2-shot foul. Remember, Bailey Cartwright is 1 for 4. As Randich will come out with a couple of threes and a couple of twos. Back it is Pemberton. And also Harn, the freshman, she'll come in for Schmitz on the Lady Argo side. 4.3 remaining here in the first. University of Providence leads it by 6, 28-22. And Bailey Carpenter wants to add to that. She'll send it, and it's first class. So, 2 for 5 is what she has as far as stats are concerned. Coming off the bench, here comes Brittany White, and she'll come in after this make. 2 seconds remain, 1 second remain at the end of the first quarter on the throw-in. The Lady Argos have once again increased their lead back to 8 up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard. It's the Lady Argos of UP 30 and the Lady Cougars of Mount Royal 22. Back in 60 with their second quarter after this timeout. It is the Benefice Health System Game of the Week here on 102.7 KINX, Fairfield, Great Falls. Yes, welcome back to the McLaughlin Center, the home of the Lady Argos, the men as well, who incidentally will play later on next week. They'll pick it up next Friday, the 25th, And the men of the University of Providence will be hosting the University of Lethbridge. That's a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. It's the solo game of the night, a week from tonight, as a matter of fact. And it'll be also live right here on 102.7. Right now, it's the Lady Argos leading the Lady Cougars out of Mount Royal, the university straight out of Calgary. Now, the actual University of Calgary did defeat Rocky Mountain College by a final of 76-44 earlier in this one. Right now, the Lady Argos have opened up their biggest margin so far as they led by 8 early on in the ball game, and it was not at one time in that first quarter at 16 points apiece. Right now, it's an 8-point difference as the University of Providence leads at 30-22 over Mount Royal. So the team's just about ready to take the court. And remember, we do have the football, college-wise football games happening tomorrow night on our sister station. In case you're wondering about the University of Montana, the Grizzlies will face Sacramento State in Sacramento, as the Hornets will host the Grizzlies tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for some Saturday Night Slam. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff on our sister station, Fox Sports Radio. We are underway in the second quarter. And racing toward the hoop, putting it up, but not there with offensive rebound, though. That was Maitland Miller. And we've got a jump ball as Mariah Blanco is just out hustling everybody out there for the Lady Cougars. And a jump ball means possession arrow in favor of the University of Providence. So the Lady Argos have the ball. Just underway here in the second quarter with Maldonado back in after a nice Gatorade break at the end of the first. She'll bring it down court, swing pass over to Kennedy. Kennedy tries to go low, but ball was tipped out. That was Ella Stanley with the tip out. Still Lady Argo basketball, baseline. And do the honors will be Kennedy. Again, if we go Kennedy or Bailey, they're both Cartwrights. Still looking for Haas, Joe, and Adam. Kicking it out front court, and running it down is Maldonado. She's in back court now. She can do that on a baseline throw-in. Shot clock is at 15. Swing pass over to Schmitz. Now to Kennedy. Top side to Schmitz, who already has a long two. Now she'll feed to Randage. Now to Maldonado, open for a three-pointer, but it's off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound, here comes Mount Royal, and it's Stanley. Down court to Blanco. Blanco takes it herself, and then she tries to save it on the tip out, and she'll turn it over. A little bit of hustle went out of her as she actually outran the basketball. Yeah, Schmitz will inbound as she goes to Maldonado in backcourt. 9:10 remaining here in the first half. It's second quarter action. First ball game of the season for both of these clubs. As they go topside now to Bailey. Bailey to Randage. Randage for the Lady Argos, penetrates, puts it off the glass, and a whistle of a foul. She'll be at the free throw line shooting two. That is Martins. Martins, remember, came in off the bench for Marlett. Marlett remains on the bench with 2. And Martins has just picked up her second. And now coming up off the bench is Jordan Blaskin. She's a third-year student from the Mount Royal University out of Calgary, Alberta. She'll come in for Martins as Blaskin makes her second appearance. Free throw line, it is Randage. It is up, it is not in. Randage, couple of threes, couple of twos, but not a single one so far in this game. Randage for UP. This one on its way, no. Catches all iron, and we've got a whistle and a foul on the rebound. Could go against Molly Schmitz, which would be the second team foul. And it is against Molly Schmitz. Team foul number 1 here in this quarter. So some substitutions coming in. Coming into the ball game. As the ball is tipped out by Blanco. Blanco off of her right hip. Turns it over for Mount Royal. So a turnover, that's only the second turnover in this quarter for the Lady Cougars, and it's been all Blanco though. Ball is inbound to Maldonado. She's got Blanco right on her left hip. Crosses the 10-second line. Still man-to-man pressure. Ball's tipped in backcourt. Back to Maldonado. Quickly double-teamed in the corner. She's got to get rid of it. Maldonado breaks free. Pull-up jumper, no. She'll kick it to Schmitz for a three-pointer. Doesn't go, but a rebound. Possibly a foul on the floor. 8:26 remaining here in the half. Second quarter action. Still an 8-point difference as it was at the end of the first. 30-22, the Lady Argos up by 8. Schmitz will come out after the first personal foul on Jordan Blaskin. Her first here in this second, and it's the second team foul. So as Kennedy kicks it in now, she goes left side to Harn. Back to Kennedy deep in the corner. No, that's Randich for a three-pointer. Bingo! All of a sudden, biggest lead for either team. It's been all Lady Argos here. Late in the first and early in the second, a three-pointer was made on one end and missed on the other. Now a double team that Maldonado dribbles her way free. Maldonado for the University of Providence. Swing over to Kennedy, back to Maldonado. Working the arc as the shot clock is down to 14. Now she'll go top side to Bailey. Back door, give to Randich, and it split the seams between Kennedy and Randich and out of bounds. So a turnover. That's the first one so far here in the second quarter for the University of Providence. .7:48 on the clock. Substitution. Looks like coming in will be Brooklyn Harn. As Harn comes in, Pipperton also comes in now for UP. As the Lady Cougars dribble in, it's Miller. Miller up off the glass, but no, they're going to say a whistle and a traveling call. So another turnover against Mount Royal here in the second quarter, and they've yet to drop one in here as they were down by 8. Remember, 30-22. It's been all Lady Argos with that three-pointer. Biggest lead, 11, 33-22. Here comes Maldonado now for the University of Providence. Turnaround, nice little spin move, and she'll penetrate. It'll be rejected, but a whistle and a foul. Started to look like a pretty decent rejection, but too much on that one. We'll see which personal foul this is. It is team foul number 3 this quarter against Mount Royal. As Ezra will come back in, and she'll come in for Bailey Cartwright. At the free throw line will be Maldonado on the second personal foul on Ella Stanley for the Lady Cougars. Stanley will come out. Back into the ball game is Marnie Garner, 4th year out of Calgary. Shots up, and it is, yes, it goes down. Maldonado 1 for 1 at the free throw line this year. She incidentally shot 68% from the free throw line as a sophomore. She's a junior this year, and the second one falls through as well. And we've got a timeout on the floor, so let's take the break, shall we? Up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard with 7:24 remaining in the first. It's the Lady Argos 35, the Lady Cougars 22. Back in 60 right after this timeout. As we come back to the McLaughlin Center, your home for the Lady Argos on the campus of the University of Providence, an update on the Major League Baseball postseason. The ALCS right now, Houston leads that series 3-2 as the New York Yankees defeated the Houston Astros earlier today by a final of 4-1. As we come back to live action, Lady Cougars have it. Deep in the corner is Garner. Garner for Mount Royal will swing it across court. She gives it up to Blaskin. Blaskin takes the jumper from the baseline. Not there. Now Blaskin with a little bit of pressure. As here comes University of Providence across the 10-second line. Maldonado looks into Ezra. Cross court to Pemberton as UP really kind of changes things up as they work it from side to side around that three-point perimeter. And that time it cost them a little bit too much time and a turnover. Under 7 left to play here in the first half. It's second quarter action. And Mount Royal yet to score in this quarter. Remember, we finished up the first 10 minutes of play. It was 30-22. That will be the second team foul against the University of Providence. As the whistle and a foul goes up on the board, it'll be number 1 against Kennedy Cartwright for the University of Providence. And in the ball game now is Madison Hooper. She's got a couple of threes as she comes into the ball game for Mount Royal. On the far side is Marnie Garner to inbound. Slap of the ball, everybody moves. Coming up top side, Blaskin. Blaskin retrieves. Now she'll go back to Rinsky as they work the three-pointer. Now horseshoe to the right side is Hooper. Now launching a three from the wing. Not there, ball tipped around and running it down is Pemberton out of belt. Pemberton for the Lady Argos. She'll clear it out herself. As she strides down across the 10-second line, Marnie Garner, fourth-year student out of Calgary out of Bird, just a 5'7" guard, picks up whistle number 1. That's team foul number 4. As now Randich will come in. Back in also as Hazard, as UP will substitute out. Somebody else has to go. There's 5 on the floor as Pemberton will come out along with Maldonado. University of Providence leads by 13, their biggest lead, 35-22. Now, we had a blowout earlier this evening with the University of Calgary. The University of Calgary over Rocky Mountain College, 76-44. UP has it. Ezra, free throw line. Now she'll put it on the floor, drive toward the hoop. Nice turnaround, fade away, got it to go. Ezra with her second field goal. And she worked the inside lane and got that one to stick. On the far side, it's Garner. Garner tries to go baseline to Hooper, and it's out of a reach. Turnover against Mount Royal. Again, the Lady Cougars, they've really cooled off, have yet to score here in the second quarter. Remember, they were knotted up at 16 apiece. So really, if you think about it, it's a 21-6 run against the Lady Cougars as they feed down low to Ezra. Ezra for the University of Providence, and a whistle and a foul on the floor. Team foul number 5 now against Mount Royal. Let's see who they mark this one against. And it'll be number 2 on Jordan Blaskin. Coming in for Blaskin will be Cameron Engine. Cameron Engine is a second-year student, 5'11", right out of Calgary as well, playing for her hometown college. Ezra at the free throw line makes her second one of the season. She's 2 for 3 now this evening. 5:40 on the clock here in the second quarter. From a 16 to a 17-point lead now as Ezra stretches it, and she goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Right now the Lady Argos lead at 39-22 as the Lady Cougars will put one up by Rinsky, three-pointer off the back of the rim. Again, they have really chilled out. Remember, a 30-second shot clock gives you time to work one play, basically, and hope for a rebound. And right now, the University of Providence is not giving them very many to choose from. Whistle and a foul out in front court as Maldonado gets ready to check in. Hazard will come out. Maldonado comes in, and also Harn. So Hazard stays in. Reed Hazard, she just went to check out some of the instruction by head coach Bill Himmelberg. 5:18 remaining here in the second. Free throw line is Randich. Randich has several threes, but she's yet to make a free throw. She went 0 for 1 on a 1-on-1 situation, and she got her this time. Randich, as she drew the second person to foul on Madison Hooper for the Lady Cougars. Extends the lead to 18, and no, it doesn't go the second time around. Rebound goes to Mount Royal. It's Gillette. She'll take it herself all the way down court. Swing pass and a traveling call as she forgot to put the ball down before made her move, and that's Maitland Miller. She took off toward the rack, and then she had to be called back. So a turnover against Mount Royal. That's number 5 here in this quarter alone. University of Providence putting in at play. Here comes Maldonado. 5:05 remaining here in the half. Second quarter action. Feed pass over to Harn. Or Hazard. That's Hazard at the deep corner, looking to go low, trying to get it inside to Bailey. She does though. Bailey, one bounce. Now back to Hazard. Hazard deep in the corner, still on dribble. Shot clock down to 7. Inside to Bailey. She'll kick it out to Randich for a three-pointer. Bingo! Talk about working the arc and working the time, the shot clock. It was down to 4 before she got 3. University of Providence leading it by 21. They've almost doubled up on the Lady Cougars out of Mount Royal. Down court, Maldonado. Another three-pointer. Bingo! Putting the hurt to the harm, and we've got a timeout on the floor. Up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard, 4:22 remaining in the half. Second quarter action. Lady Argos 46, Lady Cougars 22. Back in 60 with more right after this 60-second timeout. It's the Benefis Health System Game of the Week, college style. Back on the campus of the University of Providence here in Great Falls, MT. We're live at the McLaughlin Center, courtside. Troy Mellinger here on 102.7 KINX. And Lady Argos have still yet to score here in the second 10 minutes of play. They were down by 8 at the end of 1:30 to 22. Now find themselves down by 24, 46-22. Whistling a rejection by Bailey Cartwright. Underneath was Marnie Garner. So now inbounding will be Abby Gillette. Gillette to inbound now for the Lady Cougars. Baseline, right side of the bucket. Lady Argos with a 2-3 stance defensive-wise. Ready to inbound is Gillette. Gillette from the baseline. As she tries to kick it out in front court. Does so within the 5-second. Ball's on the floor. It's a tie-up and a jump ball. And that means in favor of the Lady Cougars on the alternating possession arrow. And once again, Mount Royal will inbound with 4:06 remaining here in the first half. Second quarter action. Inbounding near the broadcast table on courtside row, Miller. Miller will give it up now to Engine. Engen actually had a nice look at it from the free throw line, but couldn't quite drop it in. Maldonado, she'll clear things out now for the Lady Argos. Feed inside to Bailey Cartwright, and a whistle and a denial from behind. And that's Cameron Engin, who just missed her first attempt of the season. And she picked up her first foul now, 3:51 mark. So Engin picks up whistle number 1, 15 foul. Will go to the free throw line. And it'll be Bailey Cartwright. Remember, Cartwright is 3 for 6. She's shooting 50-50 so far here this year. She'll have one, and it goes. Right out of Pasco, Washington. Chiawana High School. She'll get one more to extend the lead from 25 to 26. Yes. keeping Mount Royal scoreless in the second quarter. That has to be a huge defeat. Huge. Shots up, three-pointer, bingo! Just as you say, scoreless. Rinsky knocks down her second tray of the day. And that puts 3 up on the board here in the second quarter. 48-25 inside to Schmitz. She'll be fouled. Should be at the free throw line as well. Probably from here on out here in the half. As let's see, personal-wise, it's number 3 on Jordan Blaskin. As now making her first appearance is Ellie Teskey. Ellie Teskey is a 6-footer out of Yakima, Washington. She attended West Valley High School. And she'll come in for Bailey Cartwright, who takes a rest and a Gatorade break for the Lady Argos. Schmitz at the free throw line. It's up and it's in. Schmitz has a three-pointer. Of course, the 5'11 sophomore right out of the Electric City. Hometown gal. As a matter of fact, she graduated from Great Falls High School, which is just a couple of blocks away. We've got a timeout on the floor. Let's take the break. Up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard with 3:33 on the clock. It's the Lady Argos 49, the Lady Cougars 25. And we're back in 60 seconds right after this timeout. As we come back to live action here on 102.7 KINX, Fairfield, Great Falls. Lady Argos have knocked down a free throw, and that was the second one in a row by Molly Schmitz. She's 2 for 2 on the year. And also a three-pointer taken and making by Alicia Stanley as she cracked the whip, got a tray, and now we're back at the free throw line with Maldonado. And Maldonado is 3 for 3 from the free throw line. She's got a couple of threes as well. She makes it a 23-point margin for the University of Providence. 3:14 remaining here in the second. And a pump fake. Everybody jumped into the lane. It's still good as Maldonado from Sunnyside, Washington, has gone 4 for 4 from 15-5 out. 3:07. Second quarter action. Top of the key, Rinsky. Rinsky feeds down low. She goes in low to Cameron Engine, and Engine, she'll get her first field goal of the year. So Mount Royal has cut it to 22. UP leads at 52-30. Far side is Pemberton. Pemberton goes to Schmitz out in front court, but it's picked up by Hazard. Hazard for the Lady Argos will take it right wing. Goes to Maldonado, who almost loses it. So now they're working around the horseshoe. The shot clock down to 5. It's Maldonado for a long distance three-pointer, bingo! Biggest lead so far, up by 25. As University of Providence continues to knock them down from the 3. Pemberton at this end with a defensive rebound draws a whistle and a foul. So we'll walk the length of the court with 2:16 remaining here in the first half. 55-30. Lady Argos lead the Lady Cougars. As coming in for Hazard once again is Harn. So the first person to foul up on the board against Alicia Stanley for Mount Royal. And the University of Providence in a bonus situation throughout the rest of the half. First one up is in by Pemberton. Pemberton, her first point of the year, junior, 5'5" out of Belt, graduated from Belt High School. Just one of those many state championship titles for head coach Jeff Graham and the crew. As Pemberton, as she goes 2 for 2. And it's the biggest lead now for the Lady Argos, up 57-30. Clock is at 2:10. Mount Royal. And we've got a whistle and a foul on the push-off. It's a whistle and a foul on Pemberton. She thought that she got the offensive foul and the player control against Abby Gillette. So she's laughing off that one as she picks up her first one of the season. Inbounding will be Mount Royal, and it'll be Gillette. Gillette gives up to Blanco. Swing pass left wing now to Stanley. As they go deep into the corner, but a pull-up jump away fader is Garner, but she can't get it to fall. Rebound down court. Here comes Harn to Pemberton. Pemberton top side with the clock at 1:50. Now Pemberton as they work the front court. It's stolen away. Here comes Garner now for Mount Royal, and a whistle and a foul on Pemberton. Pemberton will pick up her second in a matter of minutes. As Pemberton picks up number 2. That's team foul number 4. One more will actually put the Mount Royal University at the free throw line. As now coming in for Gillette will be Rinsky on the substitution. 1:44 remaining here in the second. University of Providence leading at 57-30 as the Lady Argos lead the Lady Cougars. Inbounding will be Rinsky. Rinsky to inbound for the Lady Cougars with 1:44 remaining here in the first half. She inbounds and goes to Engine. Engine to Miller. Working the horseshoe. Now deep in the corner to Blanco. Blanco penetrates in a pull-up fadeaway. Won't fall. Fights for her own rebound. She's on the floor. She kicks it out to her own player. And the Lady Cougars maintain possession. On the left wing, it's Miller. Around the horseshoe. Three-pointer bingo by Garner. Marnie Garner, fourth-year student out of Calgary. Scores her first points, and it's a 3, and that cuts it to 24. We're under a minute and 10 left to play here in the first half, second quarter. There's Harn, Brooklyn Harn. She gives up to Pemberton. Pemberton tries to answer the 3, but it's not there. Lady Cougars with the DB, we're under a minute left to play. Blanco down court now for Mount Royal, down 57-33. Gives it to Garner, who's open for another 3, but she doesn't take it. Goes to Blanco. Blanco penetrates just to kick it now to Garner. Now in the corner to Blanco. She's got a 3 on the way. Not there. Fight for the ball on the floor. Picked up, and Kennedy comes out. Kennedy Cartwright for the University of Providence. 36 remaining. She holds up right wing. University of Providence going to hold up in front court. Lady Argos up 57-33. 27 on the clock. Now Maldonado with a 3-pointer. Not there. Rebound. Whistle a foul from behind. Maitland Miller should be at the free throw line shooting a couple, as it is the bonus situation now for both teams with 5 team fouls. 23.2 remaining. 23.2 remaining here in the first half. That is the second person to foul on Molly Schmidt. She picks up whistle number 2. The shot clock is turned off. Trying to cut into that 24-point deficit. It's on its way, and it's on its way in. That's Maitland Miller. She'll score her first 2 points, or her first point of the season. First-year student out of Lethbridge, Alberta. Standing at 5'7". She'll go 2 for 2. So it was not a faux pas. It was an omen. 57-35. Inbound against full court pressure, Maldonado. Lady Argos double, triple team. Finally, across court, goes up to Kennedy. Kennedy finds Harn open, down to 11. Schmitz gets an offensive board. She'll kick it out to Pemberton, puts up a 3-pointer, bingo! Give the assist to Schmitz, and Pemberton the 3 with 2:01 on the clock. Blanco puts it up off the glass, but it won't go for the Mount Royal University Lady Cougars. We've gone through 20 minutes of play, 10 minutes at a time, 2 quarters. And up at the Valley Bank scoreboard as both teams go into the locker room, it's the Lady Argos of the University of Providence 60, the Lady Cougars of Mount Royal 35. We're back in 3 minutes with your halftime show, the Benefice Health System Game of the Week halftime show coming up after this 3-minute timeout. Hey, you. How are you? Good, good. Great to see you. Thanks for coming up, man. Have a seat. Those are yours right there. We've got about 2 minutes before we go on. Okay? Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It is halftime. It's the Benefits Health System halftime show here on 102.7 KINX, Fairfield, Great Falls. Live from the campus of the University of Providence, the McLaughlin Center, where the Lady Argos have a commanding lead, up by 25, 60-35, after outscoring the Lady Cougars out of Mount Royal 30-13 in that second stanza, after leading by 8 at the end of one, 30-22. We'll get to the stats coming up, team and individual-wise in a moment, but we have a nice treat to start off the season, and that is the University of Providence men's head coach, Steve Keller. Thank you for joining us here at halftime. You know, you take a look at the season, which opens up, what is it, a week from tonight on the 25th?
Yeah, absolutely. We start next week. We got a tournament here at the University of Providence with Rocky Mountain College here and University of Lethbridge and University of Calgary, and those two Canadian schools are very, very talented.
What do you look at your team? A lot of returners, a lot of fresh faces. What do you have lined up?
We got a little bit of both. You know, we have some guys returning. Brandon Cotton was our leading scorer last year at 17 a game. Our point guard, Jackson Hashley, is back. Jake Jackson in the post for us. Be a sophomore this year who averaged 11 and 9 last year. Jake Wetzel, who was our best three-point shooter, you know, Great Falls High product. They're over there waving at me right now. So those guys, and then of course we've added some guys. We got a 6'8" kid out of Montreal, Joel Tabizi, that should help us. The biggest one is Zacchaeus Darko Kelly, who was with me at Montana Western, and he was second team All-American his sophomore year. He came last year, had to sit out and because of our Frontier Conference transfer rule, and so he's ready to go. We got Dawson Fowler, who also came with me from Western. He'll be a redshirt freshman. So yeah, we got some guys, we got some new guys, and we got some good mix, and we're ready to go.
Now, when you take a look at your roster and the people that you have to replace, do you go for certain height advantages or speed? What do you look at when you scout around?
Well, last year we were pretty small when Jackson was hurt a couple times and didn't play, and so we were, our 6'3" or 6'4" is our tallest guy, and now we're 6'8", 6'7", 6'6" on the front line. So we look for that. We look for the best available athlete we can get, and we feel good about our size now, and our depth is much better in year 2.
Have you had a chance to actually see some of the other teams' roster who you're going to be up against, and how do you feel looking forward to playing them this season?
Well, our league, top to bottom, the last place team can beat the first place team on any given night, and a lot of their rosters are loaded. We were very fortunate that our coaches did vote us to win the league, and I know that's a tall task, but we like the challenge, and we think we've made some grounds in the program now, so we're excited about getting going next week. Hope to pack this place.
You hope to pack this place a week from tonight against the University of Lethbridge. Do you have any idea what you're up against next Friday night?
Yep, they run and gun and shoot the 3. We played them twice last year, and they were close games both times. Calgary was the Canadian national champion 2 years ago. So both those teams are extremely talented. Plus, each of them have played 6 or 8 games already, and we're going on our first game. So a little bit nervous about that, but we'll see how it goes.
As a head coach, do you actually take a look at the actual season itself and say, wow, this looks like pretty good, like we're at home maybe 2 or 3 times, or wow, it looks like a season where we're pretty much on the road for a lot?
Well, I actually do the schedule, so I know exactly what we're doing. So not really. I mean, we try to get a good schedule if we can. Sometimes it's the hardest part of the job is the scheduling, to be honest with you, but just trying to get ready to get into that conference season. We start December 5th and 7th with Rocky here and at Western, so got to be ready for those 2 conference games before Christmas. And so yeah, it's not easy.
And of course, being a head coach, you've been in this situation year after year. How many years have you been doing
I've
this
been
now?
a head coach about as long as you've been announcing, because you announced my high school games when I was at Helena High. At Great Falls High, I believe.
That's right, and it was packing the place. The governor used to show up. Governor Mark Roscoe used to show up for those meetings.
Yeah.
That was a great rivalry.
They were good. We had the light show and all that stuff going on, and it was awesome. I've been doing it. I don't even like to tell you, but I started in 1978, so let some people do the math. I don't want to talk about how long I've been doing it.
Well, we appreciate you coming to the University of Providence, being the head coach, making it a very successful program right off the start. We want to wish you the best of luck this year, too, Coach.
Well, Troy, thank you, and I'm glad to see you're announcing our games. I look forward. You're one of the better announcers that I've worked with, so I'm glad you're here.
Well, thanks for joining us during the halftime, and we look forward to it all season long, okay?
All right, Troy.
Head coach Steve Keller, head coach of the University of Providence. The Argo men get under action next Friday night when we're going to pack the place against the University of Lethbridge. It'll be on this radio station with a tip-off scheduled for 7:30 p.m. The ladies have already had a half into their scorebook books, as a matter of fact, into the season. And right now, the Lady Argos lead the Lady Cougars. That's right, the University of Providence over Mount Royal halfway through tonight's show. And up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard, it's the Lady Argos 60, the Lady Cougars 35. We're going to take another 3-minute break. When we come back, we'll have your stats, individual and team-wise, right here at the McLaughlin Center. Back in 3 minutes after this timeout. It's the Benefis Health System halftime show here on 102.7 KINX, Fairfield, Great Falls. Troy Mellinger coming your way. Friday night fun. It's not under the lights outside, but it is here in the McLaughlin Center, your home for the University of Providence. Right on campus, Lady Argos lead their home opener by 25, 60-35 over the Lady Cougars of Mount Royal. Straight out of Calgary, Alberta, up across the 49th parallels. Matter of fact, they hit I-15, and here they come down to the electric city of Great Falls, MT. Taking a look at your statistics for the first half, first and second quarter. Let's first of all take a look at the individual stuff. How about a 13-point first half for Emily Maldonado? She incidentally had 3 threes and went 4 for 4 at the free throw line. Talking to Jim Sargent, the sports director, the sports information director, his first year at the University of Providence, saying that she's already been nominated as the player of the year for the Frontier Conference, and she's proving it. 13 points, 4 for 4 at the free throw line out of Sunnyside, Washington. Following her, by the way, was Jenna Randich, who had 17. She knocked down 4 3-pointers. She also had a couple of twos, and she went 1 for 3 at the free throw line. Meanwhile, Molly Schmitz 2 for 2 at the free throw line, a 3-pointer and a total of 5. Kennedy Cartwright had 6. She had 2 out of 3 at the free throw line and a couple of twos. Meanwhile, 7 of the night, she had a couple of deuces and 3 for 4 at that 15-5 mark was Parker Ezray. Kirsten Pimperton, 2 for 2 at the charity stripe and a tray for a total of 5. And of course, Bailey Cartwright, she went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 8 from the free throw line and a deuce to her credit with a total of 7. Turning our attention now over to the Lady Cougars of Mount Royal University. Couple of trays and talk about the 3-pointers. At least electrifying the second quarter after being skunked for 7 minutes of that second stanza. Here comes Mount Royal back, and they get a couple of threes. Rinsky, couple of trays, total of 6. Same thing goes for Madison Hooper. Maitland Miller, a couple of singles. She's got a total of 2 points, 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Now here come the threes. Garner, Gillette, as well as Stanley each have 1 field goal. It's a 3 for a total of 3. Cameron Engine, about the 8th player off the bench, has 1 field goal for a total of 2. And then, of course, you have 8 points by Janika. And I should say 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points because she went 2 for 2 at the free throw line is Janika Martins. And she was the first player off the bench because Charity Marlatt got into foul trouble early. What an incredible performance off the bench for Janika. That's individual-wise. As far as team-wise is concerned, boy, talk about putting on the turnover. Mount Royal, 15 TOs, and that's twice as many as the University of Providence with only 7. Shooting from the field, well, 38% for Mount Royal, 12 of 31. From the free throw line, they were 3 for 3. And that's 100%. Meanwhile, 8 of 15 from three-point range for 53%. Lady Argos shot 59% from the field, 16 of 27. 56% from the free throw line, 9 of 16. And they were 19 of 27. 27 free throws. 19 of 27 is 70%. As we are underway here in the second half, third quarter, and the University of Providence with the possession arrow in their favor. Will open up with a 25-point lead, leading this one 60-35. And a nice give and go on the far side as Ezray will score. Parker Ezray, her first field goal of the second half. That's 9 total tonight. Mount Royal, who specializes in School of Communication Studies, they feature an incredible broadcast media studies up there in Calgary. And a 3-pointer, take it and make it. Bingo! Her third one is Madison Hooper. So she cuts into that deficit, now down to 24, 62-38. Into Ezray. Ezray will give it up to Kennedy. Kennedy for University of Providence. She swings it around the horseshoe to Bailey. Now she goes to Randich. Randich penetrates, lays it up off the glass. Randich with a nice dribble and drive. Mount Royal wants to answer back as both teams right now 3 for 3 on possessions. Only the second possession, though, for the Lady Cougars. Here comes another 3-pointer off the back of the rim. Maldonado picks it up off the glass. Down court, here come the Lady Argos. Inside to Bailey. Bailey up and in on the give and go. What a transition for UP. 8:27 on the clock, just barely into the second half, third quarter action. And the Lady Argos extend the lead, 26, and make that 66-38. But a three-pointer bingo by Hooper, her second one here in the second half. Makes it right back to 25 as it was at halftime. Shots up, shots in by Ezra. As right now, both teams are just running the floor as they're catching their second wind to open up the third quarter, coming out of the locker room and a bit of a rest. Huffing and puffing, no. They've got a lot of energy with another three-pointer, but it rims out this time. But give right back to her. Hooper puts up the inside lane. Madison Cooper. Hooper has just picked up her first deuce, and she's on fire. Long pass down court is interrupted and deflected by Mount Royal, but it's going to be a turnover against the Lady Argos. As Randich will come out. Back into the ball game is Hazard. Nope, check that. Pemberton is the sub. Putting it at play is Gillette. Gillette looks baseline to Hooper. Now she'll kick it back out to Rinsky. Rinsky will penetrate, give up to Hooper for a three-pointer, but it's not there. She's missed her last 2 threes after making 2 in a row. Got a whistle and a foul on the rebound. Loose ball foul. It'll be team foul number 1 here in the second half against Mount Royal. And it's number 2. It's actually number 2 on Stanley. No, check that, number 3. I had her down for 2. It's number 3 on Stanley for the Lady Cougars. So Lady Argos will inbound. They're facing full court pressure. Didn't happen to see full court pressure in that first half for the Lady Argos. They went back into that 2-3 zone and then picked everybody up man-to-man once the Lady Cougars crossed the 10-second line. As they work it around the arc, top side now to Bailey. Bailey looks into Ezra, and they feed it to her, but it's stolen away. Picking up that one is Marlatt. Marlatt playing with 2 personal fouls, and she got that one. And here come the Lady Cougars. Mount Royal with the ball, down 68-43. Both teams have matched up well here during the opening minutes of the second half. Still a 25-point deficit. Both teams have scored 8. As Bailey Cartwright will come out. And Kennedy Cartwright picks up number 2 for the Lady Argos as Pemberton will come out on the substitution. As Mount Royal kicks it into Hooper for a three-pointer. She's 0 for 3 after making 2 in a row to open up the second half. University of Providence gets the rebound. Here comes Maldonado. She gives it up to Schmidt, sets for a three-pointer. Off the front of the rim, not there. Rebound, here comes Stanley. Down court to Hooper. Hooper looking for somebody. It's rejected right to her, and she gives to Stanley. Mount Royal saves possession. And the ball knocked off of the leg of Kennedy Cartwright, so it's still Mount Royal basketball. Coming in is Garner off the bench, and she'll come in for Stanley, who gets an exit. Lady Cougars with possession, down 68-43. Shot clock is at the 19 mark at 6:27 left to play here in the third. Inbound, top side, as they go from Gillette to Hooper. Hooper on the far side. She's missed her last 3 three-point tries. Is driving in, giving back to Hooper, swinging it right now to Gillette. Three-pointer, no, this one won't fall either. Rebound, here comes Cartwright, and it's Kennedy. Looks for the outlet pass. She'll hand off to Maldonado. University of Providence with the ball. As they swing it around the arc against man-to-man defense, they go to Kennedy. Top side to Ezra. Randich open for a tray, not there. Rebound, Kennedy up and off the glass, questionably shooting for 3. Kennedy Cartwright out of Pasco, Washington. She is the sophomore compared to the senior, her older sister Bailey. And we have a mass exodus. 3 out of the 5 starters will come out for Mount Royal, as the Lady Cougars will come out and substitute 3 fresh legs in. 5:57 on the clock here in the third quarter. University of Providence leading it by 27. 70-43 is your score. And the first person to foul, well, they put number 23 up there, but actually it's number 23 shooting. And that is Cartwright, as Cartwright goes 1 for 1. That's the second team foul against the Mount Royal Lady Cougars, here in the third quarter anyway. Cross court, feeding Garner. Garner to Martins, deep on the lane. Throws it out to Blanco. Blanco's going to be fouled as she drove toward the hoop. And that will be Randich. Jenna Randich. I thought she might have just picked up number 1 on the second team foul-wise. It is just number 1 here in her home opener. So not a shooting foul. Blanco will inbound. Swings it to Gillette. Gillette deep in the corner to Martins. Martin wasted no time for that baseline jumper. Ball tipped around and taken away by Mount Royal. So they maintain possession. Back to Garner in the corner for a 3, but a whistle and a foul on the rebound. A lot of positioning down low. Let's see who they call this one on. Looks like it's against the Lady Argos, and it's team foul. Nope, check that against Mount Royal. Team foul number 3, and the first personal on Maitland Miller. Full court press put on by the Lady Cougars. They get a tip. Blanco gets the shot, won't go. Rebound goes to Kennedy. She's triple teamed in backcourt for the Lady Argos. Gives it up to Maldonado. Maldonado now will cross the 10-second ticker, working right side baseline. Cross court pass. Randich left open for a 3-pointer. Bingo! Randich, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threes. And the Lady Argos extend the lead now to 29, 74-43. Around the horseshoe, Martins. Inside the lane to Gillette, but it's stolen away by Randich. UP down court, and Randich, as she hits the midline, we've got a whistle and a foul. That's team foul number 4 this quarter against Mount Royal. And it stops the clock at the 4:44 mark. Couple of subs in for both ball clubs. With the first personal for Maria Blanco. She'll put her first one up on the board. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Let's take the break. The Built Valley Bank scoreboard reads 4:44 here in the third, with the Lady Argos 74, Lady Cougars 43. Back in 60 with more after this timeout. .444 left to play here in the third. Remember, it's 4 10-minute quarters as opposed to the men, which are 2 20-minute halves. Yes, welcome back to the McLaughlin Center, your home for the Lady Argos from the University of Providence. Troy Mellinger here on 102.7 KINX for the home opener. It's the season, and it begins with a runaway for both the University of Calgary as well as the University of Providence. University of Calgary defeated Rocky Mountain College in this same Frontier Conference by a final of 76-44. And right now, UP leads Mount Royal 74-43. We're back into play following a timeout called by head coach Bill Himmelberg from the University of Providence, who, by the way, is assisted by Crystal Smith and Darren Park. Bailey is out there on the floor, and she'll hand off to Hazard. Hazard goes coast to coast, and she'll drop it in. The 5'10" sophomore out of Portland, Oregon, scores her first 2 of the year in that one. And it puts the University of Providence up by 33, 76-43. Fight for the ball, and there's going to be a whistle and a foul on the fight for it out front court. They call it against Mount Royal, and the Lady Cougars showing a little bit of frustration, especially on the loose balls. And we'll walk the length of the court and shoot two. It is a double bonus shot. 5th team foul here in this quarter. And it stops the clock with 4:20 remaining. It's number 4 on number 5, Jordan Blaskin. Nobody else in foul trouble except Ella Stanley with 3 for the Lady Cougars. So at the free throw line will be Emily Maldonado, who has yet to score here in the second half. She had 13 first half points. Her first one is up, but not there. That's her first miss this year. She is 4 for 5. University of Providence taking on Salish Kootenai College 10 days from today. After that, they actually go on the road to face the University of Calgary, like I say, who just beat Rocky Mountain College 76-44. That is going to be a great game up in Calgary at Alberta, and that'll be on the 2nd of November, which is a Saturday afternoon slam at 4 p.m. Well, Maldonado did not miss that shot, but it was waved off on a lane violation, so it's still 76-43. It does not go against her stats. And University of Providence, the Lady Argos, come up with a steal. Great steal that time by Molly Schmitz, as across the 10-second line is Randich. Randich trying to get away from Blanco from Mount Royal. She'll hand off to Hazard. Shot clock down to 15. Lady Argos have the ball with Schmitz out in top court. As she swings it top side, she'll go to Bailey. Shot clock down to 7. Now to Maldonado. Maldonado, crossover move inside to Bailey. One hop step inside the lane. She'll put the shot up with 1 second on the shot clock in the lane, and it comes up short. Down court, giving it up on the left side, but it's too much, is Garner. She can't garner a second field goal. She only has 1, and it was a 3-pointer. Inside to Bailey. Bailey will put it up and whistle, and a foul by Garner. That'll be number 2 on number 4. So Garner with a whistle and a foul. And now here comes 3 out of the 5 for the Lady Cougars out of Mount Royal. Clock at the 3:08 mark here in the third quarter. Free throw line is Bailey Cartwright of the 2 Cartwrights. She's got 2. On the second person to foul on Garner. It's up, it's in. Third point here in the third quarter. She hit double figures at 10. She'll get 1 more for the University of Providence, and she extends the lead to 35. With those 2 free throws, it's 78-43. As the Lady Cougars immediately matched the University of Providence 8 for 8 in the first minutes, and now has suddenly gone cold again. Lady Cougars with it. Hooper deep in the corner now for Mount Royal. She'll go up top side to Miller. Miller feeding to Rinsky as they work the arc. Back out now as they go to Miller. Miller inside the lane, and she one-hands this one up, but it won't go. Rebound Schmitz. Schmitz clears it out for the University of Providence, waits for the outlet pass, and there comes Maldonado. Her and Schmitz work in the front court. Feed right side now to Harn. Harn to Ezra as they work the rain ball. This kicks out Hazard for a 3. It's off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound Marlette. She quickly finds Rinsky breaking toward the hoop just to give off to Miller, who pumps from the baseline, but it falls. Hits a couple of left and right side of the rim, and it falls right into the hands of Ezra, who's immediately fouled. Here comes Pemberton in for UP. In for Mount Royal, it's Stanley. Yeah, there he is right there. 2:14 remaining here in the third quarter. As we walk the length, it'll be Ezra at the free throw line for the Lady Argos, who lead this one by 35, 78-43. That was the third person to foul on Charity Marlette. Remember, she picked up 2 quick ones in the first quarter and sat. As Ezra gets the front end of this 2-shot foul, and she gets the bonus as well. From Kalama, Washington, Parker Ezra. She's only missed 1 free throw. That was her second one of the season. Biggest lead of the ball game. University of Providence up by 37, 80-43. 2:02 on the clock here in the third. As they feed inside down low, Marlett loses it, and it's picked up and taken away by the University of Providence. In backcourt is Ezra. She'll give now to Hazard. Feed to Harn, down low into Hazard. She's got a double team. She'll kick it out to Pipperton for a three-pointer. Bingo! That's her second three, one in each half. And that extends the lead to 40. 1:28 remaining here in the third. We still have another 10 minutes to play with a three-pointer. Bingo by Hooper. Hooper missed 3 threes in a row, and she finally got back on track. Long pass down court to Harn. Harn for the University of Providence. Feeds it up to Schmitz for another three. Nah, won't go. Rebound, Marlin has it taken away by Ezra, and a whistle and a foul. So Ezra will be back at the free throw line as she got the offensive board almost taken away by Marlett. Marlett may have picked up number 4, and she has. She might come out of the ballgame. What's interesting is that Janika Martins came off the bench for Marlett, scored 10 in the first half, and now is back in for the Mount Royal Lady Cougars. Shot is up, but off the front of the rim, no good by Ezra. 83-46 your score after that three-pointer by Hooper. But 40 points has been the largest margin, and now it's back up to 38. Like I say, the shot taken by Ezra on the second time around for UP, and it falls in. Under a minute to play here in the third. That's Gillette feeding it left side to Hooper from the baseline. Yeah, she's got it. She's got the shot. It's only her second two-pointer. The rest have been threes. Well into double figures for Madison Hooper. Mount Royal putting on a full court press. Pipperton in backcourt. Gives to Harn. Hazard. Hazard and Harn on the far side. Hazard with the ball, top side. She'll swing it right side to Pipperton. Shot clock is down to 16. Lady Argos have it. Turnaround jumper by Parker Ezra. Ezra from the free throw line, no. Gillette gets the DB, keeps it herself. Lady Cougars with the ball. Final 16 on the clock here in the third. One-headed pass over to Hooper. Left open three-pointer. Bingo! Hooper left open in the corner. Made the Lady Argos pay for it. Now to 7. Trying to get it across the 10-second line with 3, 2, 1. Pipperton will have a shot at the end of it. At the end of three, and she drains it, falling down left-handed. The teammates come off the bench and rush the floor to help her up from the free throw line. And we've gone through 10 minutes of play. What a highlight. At the end of 3 up the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard. It's the Lady Argos 87, the Lady Cougars 51. Back in 60 with your fourth and final quarter after this timeout. It's the fourth and final quarter here on the campus of the University of Providence, where the Lady Argos lead the Lady Cougars out of Mount Royal from Calgary, Alberta, 87-51 here at the McLaughlin Center. It's not the first game played this season here at this venue. Earlier today, the University of Calgary, they overcame a 5-point deficit in the first half to win going away by 32. The final score was 76-44 over Rocky Mountain College, those Battling Bears. Fourth and final quarter after UP outscored Mount Royal 27-16 in the third stanza. They opened up a 40-point lead. They now lead it by 36, 87-51. What a spectacular finish to that quarter, though, as Martins opens up with a two-pointer from the baseline for Mount Royal, and she's turned cold. And here come the Lady Argos in their first possession. But Pemberton, who knew she could shoot it left-handed? But it has to be under pressure with time expiring. As Hazard dribble and drive off the glass and in. Up by 28, make that 38, 89-51. Just moments into this fourth and final quarter. It'll be a long drive home up across the northern border for Mount Royal as they has the ball stripped out of their hands. Has it on the floor. It's going to be a timeout called by head coach Bill Himmelberg because he wants to keep possession. We're going to keep it here. It's going to be a wimpy, teeny, tiny, measly little 30-second break, so we're going to keep it here. I mean, by the time you get through saying that it's a 30-second, measly little, meeny-miny mo, then 30 seconds are up. And we're just barely into this fourth and final quarter. After the University of Providence plays Salish Kootenai College and then the University of Calgary, their first road game, they're back here at home. They're playing Vanguard University out of California on the 8th of November for their fourth game. That'll be a 5:30 evening start. And there are several different times. You glance over the upargos.com website when it comes to the Lady Argos basketball schedule. You see that there's 7:30, there's noon, there's 4, there's 5:30, there's 2:30. There's also 2 p.m., 1:30, and 6 p.m. So it is a fluctuation and it is a variety of start times when it comes to tip-offs for the University of Providence throughout this entire season. They will face Montana State University out of Billings in Billings. They face Corbin, Dickinson, Northwest University, and Yellowstone Christian College before they take that Phoenix Frontier Classic. They get to head down where it's warm. They'll be in Phoenix, Arizona on the 18th of December, as well as the 19th and 21st, before they return to Billings on the 27th and 28th. So what a holiday tournament at Phoenix Frontier Classic, where they're in Phoenix the 18th, 19th, and 21st. University of Providence will turn it over as Hazard says, my bad, on the double dribble. That was compliments of the pressure put on by the Lady Cougars. So inbounding will be Gillette. What's really ironic about Gillette as she uses Schick. That's what she says in her bio. They go down low to Martins. Martins can't make it. And Mount Royal turns it over for the second time as Martins is 0 for 2 here in the second half after scoring 10 first half points. Around the horseshoe to Pemberton. Who had that highlight to finish out the third quarter where she stumbled toward the free throw line and laid up a left-hander and it dropped in. She'll feed to Harn, now to Esre. Shot clock at 10. Kicks it out now to Hazard. Hazard open on the baseline. Back to Esre, and that'll be a whistle and a foul on the reach around by Martins. Martins may have picked up her third. That is the first team foul here in the second, or I make that the fourth quarter. Coming in will be White's, Brittany White, and she'll come in for the University of Providence on the substitution. As inbounding will be Kennedy to White, back to Kennedy inside the lane. She'll put it up underneath the hand, but it rolls out. Gillette gets the DB for the Lady Cougars. Gets it right back to her on the outlet pass. Feed down court to Miller. Miller goes underneath to Blaskin, and it's taken away. Checked out, it wasn't Blaskin, that was Stanley, who had it stolen away. Another turnover against the Mount Royal University. Shots up, not there by Kennedy, and one shot on goal, and all of a sudden Martin's on the run. She's on the floor now, kicks it out front court. Now swing pass to Hooper, and she'll throw it away. That's Miller with that bad pass. And now all of a sudden, Mount Royal is putting on the pressure. 7:54 remaining in this home opener. As Kennedy in backcourt with Pemberton. Kennedy picks up the loose ball. Now triple team underneath. Oh, it's off the back of the backboard, and Mount Royal comes up with it. Regardless, it would have been a turnover nonetheless. It's Gillette on dribble. Feeds it to Martin. Martins takes it up left-handed, and she misses her first two right-handed, makes the lefty underneath, and it's good. Here comes White across the 10-second line. White for UP. Dribbles her way out of trouble. Finds Pipperton topside. Gets it right back out in front court as she goes to Harn. Harn to Bailey. Now to Kennedy. She'll take the screen. Dribbles to the free throw line. Pumps from there. Can't get it to go, but there's Bailey when you need her to bail her out. Offensive rebound putback. Draws a whistle and a foul. Stops the clock with 7:09 remaining here in the fourth. University of Providence leads this one by 36, 89-53. And that is number 4 on Martin. So the 6'1" and the 5'10" ladies. Marlett with 4, Martins with 4. And Martins will come out and Marlett back in. They're the Mars Bars. And between the two, they have 8 personal fouls. There's Bailey at the free throw line. She goes 1 for 1 this time out. Extends the lead to 37 and now 38. Bailey Cartwright goes 2 for 2 on that 4th personal foul on Martins. The second team foul against Mount Royal here in the 4th quarter. Feed to Riskin. That's Rinsky to Miller. Miller around to Rinsky. Right wing as she goes to Marlett. Marlett pumps from the baseline, not there. White runs it down for UP. Lady Argos have it. 6:46 remaining. 4th and final quarter as Pemberton looks off the 3, tries to go into Bailey, and it's going to be tipped around, and Bailey finally comes up with it. Lady Argos have a fresh shot clock. As Maldonado works it top side from the right wing, she'll feed it over to Harn. Cross court to Pemberton. Pemberton wastes no time, 3-pointer, bingo! Pemberton's third 3, 2 of those in the second half. 6:20 remaining. And all of a sudden it's a 41, their biggest lead of the ball game. Lady Argos over the Lady Cougars, 94-53. They could top the century mark before this was over, especially if they even shoot half of the percentage they do at the 3-point range. Shots off by Marlett by Mount Royal, and here comes UP. Lady Argos have it as the Lady Cougars get back in a hurry. A kick to Harn. Here comes the 3-pointer, but it's not there. Rebound to Bailey. Bailey up underneath with an offensive putback. And they are 4 points away from 100. Bailey Cartwright. Huge offensive performance this evening. As the feeds go down inside to Stanley. Stanley puts it up left-handed. It won't fall. But an offensive rebound for Mount Royal, and it won't go either. That one by Garner, so a couple of OBs, offensive boards. But it looks like the Lady Argos try to feed it inside, and we go the other way. Crossover move up, and Rinsky might be at the free throw line shooting 2. That's only the first team foul here in the 4th quarter against the University of Providence. 5:14 remaining here in the 4th. Lady Argos will substitute out Pemberton. Back in the ball game is Hazard. Mount Royal will get the ball underneath their own bucket. Someone has to do so. And there's Kennedy Horn, second-year student, 5'7" guard out of Calgary, making her first appearance, and she will inbound, looking for someplace to go. Kicks it out in front court as she goes to Garner. Garner penetrates left-handed, off the glass and in. That's only Garner's second field goal, and it's a 2. She's got 5 on the night. 5:04 remaining. White for the Lady Argos to Harn. She's in 3-point range as they work the perimeter left side. White drives the lane left-handed. It falls in. Boy, the lefties have come out of the locker room here in the second half. Brittany White scores her first 2 of the season. And now it go the other way to Horn. Horn takes the shot for the Lady Cougars, and she can't get that one to drop. As the Lady Argos work it around the perimeter, shot clock down to 16. And Harn sees that, launches a 3-pointer. It's up off the back of the rim. And here comes Mount Royal with a crossover move. It's Rinsky. She'll drive in, kick it out. Three-pointer. No, it's short. That was Garner wanting her second three, but it wouldn't go her way. Clock at the 4:02 mark. Fourth and final quarter. University of Providence just one field goal away from their home opener, their season opener, and 100 points. Could it be Harn? Three-pointer, bingo! It's 101.7. Brooklyn Harn makes it 101 with 3:32 left to play. That's her first score of the season, of this game, and of her college career, and it makes it 101. Good for her. Down court, Bailey Cartwright up and in. She makes it 103, and a timeout on the floor. Let's take the break. Up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard, fourth and final quarter, 3:18 left to play in this matchup, and it's the Lady Argos 103 and the Lady Cougars 55. We're back in 60 with more after this timeout. Welcome back to the McLaughlin Center, home of the Lady Argos from the University of Providence here in the Electric City. 3:18 remains in this matchup. Lady Argos have just upped the ante, 103-55. Their biggest performance, incidentally, in 16 years. As the Mount Royal, the Lady Cougars want to stop the bleeding. They call a timeout to kind of regroup. As they're working some time, the shot clock down to 12. They finally find an open lady, and it is up off the rim, no good, but a rebound. And we'll see the Lady Cougars at the free throw line. Jordan Blaskett, who's playing with 4 personals as well as Marlett and Martins. She's a third-year student out of Calgary, 5'8" guard, and she'll be at the free throw line shooting a couple on the second personal foul on Brooklyn Harn. Looking to come up off the bench is Cameron Cady. As she might be coming into the ball game with 2:51 remaining. White across the 10-second line off the one make, incidentally, by Jordan Blaskett. She made her first but missed her second, went 1 for 2. Taking the shot is Hazard from the baseline, and already down court is Rinsky now for Mount Royal. The 2:28 remaining. Around the shoehorn we go to the left side. It's Martins. Top side to Gillette. She'll look down low. Instead, she'll go left side for a three-pointer, but it's off the rim. Misses that one is Kennedy Horn. But another offensive putback this time by Rinsky. That's her first field goal, just to tell how cold it is. That's her first field goal in the second half, and it comes late in the fourth quarter. She's got 8 this evening. Here comes Hazard to Pemberton as we're at the 1:59 mark. Pemberton, she'll penetrate to the free throw line. She'll kick it to White with a nice pump fake. White will take it all the way baseline off the glass. It's not there. Gillette clears the boards now for the Lady Cougars of Mount Royal. Crossover move given to Martins. Martins takes it all in, and she dances right around like a pinball machine through everybody, that gauntlet, and drops in a deuce. 14 this evening. Lady Argos up 103-60. Less than a minute and a half remaining. Feed pass over to Hazard. Hazard on the left wing. She's caught up. The shot clock down to 15. Hazard still on dribble, backs herself out near the midcourt line. Kicks it to White, shot clock down at 8. Now to Harn. Harn. She'll feed it up to Teskey, who doesn't take the shot. She feeds to Pemberton, and the shot goes awry. Down court with 102.7 remaining. Dribbling inside is Gillette. She'll one-hand it, but it falls out of bounds, and they say it's a turnover against the Lady Cougars. So now into the ball game is Cameron Cady. She's a 5'11 sophomore out of Lewiston, Idaho. Remember, it's Lewiston, Harlow Town. Check that, it's Lewiston and Harlowton. It's Lewistown, Montana, Lewiston, Idaho. Just to make it clear, 53 seconds. In the backcourt, it's Hazard on dribble. Behind the back, across the 10-second line, feed to Pemberton. Lady Argos up 103-60. Pemberton, top of the key, penetrates, holds up, waits for White. She'll take it up as the shot clock reads 9. Now feed left wing. Hazard. Here comes Harns. Another three-pointer, but it rims out. Final 28 seconds on the board. Shot clock is turned off, and we're ready to wind this one up and get to the postgame show as White steals it away for UP. We'll go the other way with the Lady Argos. They'll cross the timeline, and they'll just hold up out in front court. That brings the crowd up on its feet for an incredible performance with the final 9 seconds on the clock. It's Harn who put the University of Providence over that century mark for the first time in 16 years. And there's the buzzer. Your final score up at the Belt Valley Bank scoreboard. It's the Lady Argos of the University of Providence 103. The Lady Cougars out of Mount Royal University 60. We're going to take a 3-minute break. When we come back, your Benefice Health System postgame show here on 102.7 KINX. Back in 3 after this timeout. Hey, have a seat. Randich, right?
Yes.